Hi, as the part of the principles of web technology, our project is the Farm Shield, and these are our team members. And moving to the abstract, it is an application by which the farmers can claim their insurance for the crops and the poultry, because the food serves all the communities all over the world, and it is playing a very important role. Uh, Farmers, to claim their insurance for their crops and the cattle, they should go to the nearby banks. They should do all the necessary paperwork to claim their insurance, even though they'll not have any clarity on what insurance they are claiming. So we have developed an app which is user friendly to the farmers. They can fill up which all the information for which they want to claim the insurance of the crops and the cattle, and they can upload it. And this app serves as the medium between the bank and the farmers. The front end development of this application is done by using the HTML and CSS, and the back end coding is done by using the PHP. And we had deployed this project in the AWS using the EC2 server. And next, moving to the motivation, the farming in nowadays is becoming a challenging industry. So the natural disasters and the disease outbreaks can put the farmers in the losses. As a result, farmers' capacity to continue their work has become difficult. So this app is user friendly to the farmers, so they can fill up this application and provide it to the bank so that they can easily claim their insurance for the crops and the cattle. Our main goal is to provide a platform that gives the farmers a simple way to protect their source of cattle and the crops. And next, my friend Agil will continue.
Okay, now let's look up the approach and the implementation plan that we have for this project. So the first thing is that we have our application Farm Shield, which is going to be hosted using an AWS cloud. And with this application, we have two main functions. The first thing is registration. So whenever a user claims for registration, it goes to our database. And from our database, it goes back to our AWS cloud which can be viewed with our Farm Shield web application. So with this registration, we have three types of registration mainly, which is like land registration and then animals and plants. So for example, if we take land registration, we have a user-friendly method for farmers to actually go through a virtual map where they can pin out their land, which is a easier method compared to entering their plot numbers, as sometimes it can give out an error actually saying the exact location. So the next function we have for this project is insurance claim. So insurance claim, whenever a user goes for insurance claim, a new ticket ID is created, which is linked with their user. And then whenever he goes for insurance claim, the first thing is a verification process. So the verification process will be done manually, and a person will be asked to check if the verification claim is actually legit or not. And then after that, we're going to go through the insurance calculation engine, where we're going to calculate the amount of insurance the person gets, which varies according to their location of the land, and also the amount of poultries and plants that they grow on. And then finally, we send this information to the bank, where the bank reviews it and actually verifies it them with their own sources. And then they send back their response to the insurance claim ticket that we created. So this ticket will be linked to our database. So this it gets updated to our database, and then finally it's sent back to our AWS cloud, where it can be viewed in our web page. So let's see about the usage scenarios for our application. We have took some basic usage scenarios, and let's go review them. So first one here is the farmer who has recently planted a sizable wheat crop. So a new farmer who has planted a wheat crop can go for an insurance protection or insurance claim when any loss happen for his land. And the second one here we have is a farmer who go livestock. So even for farmers who goes poultry can go for this insurance claim process. And the third case we have here are small scale farmers to apply for insurance protection. So the main thing here is that no matter the size of the land that they have, we are giving protection for all kinds of farmers. And the fourth thing we have here is the farmers who operate in areas of vulnerability, such as hurricanes or floods. So even those who have their farmlands in those areas are able to go for insurance protection for their livestock and their crops. And the last thing that we have here is farmers who want to grow their business. So with our web application, the farmer gets an idea of how much cost it's going to take, and even if they suffer a loss, then how much cost they're going to make back. So with this, they can have future ideas for them to grow their farming business. Now, Asara will explain the use case diagram.
So, okay, this is the use case diagram for the FarmShare project. So there are two user roles. For the one is farmer and the second is company admin. And there are several use cases for the both users. And you can see that there are some common use cases in the middle. It's user registration. So I split down some of the components for the simplification. So as I said, the user registration is the most common one. So the user can be either farmer or company admin. So when they are trying to log into their system, they have to first select the language. And if it is a new user, the user has to sign up and thereby giving his personal information along the personal email. So then he get an account verification email to the registered email, then he can sign into the system. So let's assume if the user is already exits, then he can directly sign into the system. So even if this user is already exits, there can be situation like he forgot his password. Then he can recover their account using the registered email, and they will get a account verification email with a temporary password. Then user can use that temporary password to sign in. Once they sign into the system, the user can reset their password or update their profile. So there are two main applications. The first one is admin web application, and the second one is the customer web application. So let's talk about the admin dashboard. So company admin can do several tasks such as creating animals, creating crops, and reviewing the crop insurance request, and reviewing animal insurance request, and reviewing the claim request. And there are several tasks can be done under these subtopics. So the one of the main tasks that admin can do is generating categories. So company admin can create categories. In here, we are defining categories as crops and livestock. So company admin can update categories and delete categories, and he can create subcategories. As example, if we are creating crops, we can define the subcategories soybeans and whatever else. And then he has the capability of updating subcategories and deleting those subcategories. So simply that means we have to implement the CRUD operation such as creating, updating, deleting for all these functionalities. And we have to implement the user interfaces as well. So if you go to the next main topic is like company admin has the capability of creating insurance, reviewing insurance and claiming them. So company admin can view the insurance request. Under each insurance request, they can view the crops or animal details, and they can view the land details and the farmer details. And once they review the insurance request, they have the capability of approving those insurance requests or reject those insurance requests. If they are going to approve the insurance request, they have to add the insurance number and the total insurance amount. What is the premium amount, which is what is the amount the farmer paying to the monthly, and what's the claimable amount. And there is another task that can do by the admin. It's viewing the claim request. So if the once they are company admin claim the request or viewing, he can view the farmer details and what are the disaster details. And once he reviewing the claim details, company admin can approve or reject that claim request. If he is approving that claim request, he has to add what is the claimable amount for that claim request. So, and when we talk about the customer dashboard, one of the most important features, once farmer log into the system, he should be able to create land and add this land register information, such as adding the location information of that land, where it's located and where is the state, something like that, and add the land area information, how many acres and how many pages are there, and update the land information and add categories such as like under adding categories, the farmer has to add the information such as what is the starting date of harvesting, and what is the expected harvest date, and what is the season he is farming, and how many land area he has. And also, after adding all those information, then finally he can insure their land. So, and also he can view the insurance history. What are the previous requested insurance? So after insure their land, they can make a claim request if their land damaged through a disaster. So farmer can create a claim request by mentioning what is the damage category, whether it's a crop or whether it's livestock, and what is the disaster occurred date, and what is the impact of damage. It's a full impact, or it's a partial impact, or is there adjoint lands damaged due to that. So yeah, these are the main components we are going to implement, and Melissa will talk about the user profiles.
In this project form sheet, we have used different user profiles like small scale farmer, large scale farmer, new farmer, experienced farmer, farmer in a hazardous area. So let's first talk about small scale farmer. The farmer who runs a tiny farm and also grows both crops and livestock. They are generally looking for a solution which is simple and low cost solution to safeguard their way to life against uncertain circumstances. Next, we'll talk about large-scale farmer. The farmer who runs a sizable farm and also grows both crops and livestock to safeguard their financial investment. They are looking for a solution which is more complete and trustworthy. Next, we'll talk about new farmer. The customer is just getting to start farming and is looking for a way to secure the financial commitments and to ensure the future profitability. They are looking for a solution which is more appropriate and also inexpensive solution. The next one is experienced farmer. The farmer who is doing farming for a while, they are looking for a way to secure the financial investments and also ensure the future incomes. They are looking for a solution which is proper and reliable solution. Next is farmer in a hazardous area. The farmers who work in an area which is exposed to calamities like floods, they are looking for a solution to shield their livelihood against the impacts of floods and other things. Next, we'll discuss about goals and deliverables. So in goals, we have given the farmer a simple and convenient way to apply for insurance coverage for both crops and livestock. Next, we have offered the farmer an alternative for inexpensive and complete insurance coverage. We have given the guarantee for information security and privacy of the farmers, and we also provided trustworthy and effective claims processing system. Next, we'll talk about deliverables. We have created a reliable platform with user-friendly user interface. A safe and expandable database we have used where we can store the information of the farmer, crops, livestock, and insurance policies. A reliable claims processing system we have used which determine payouts and validity of the claims. Next, in this, we also used a comprehensive insurance engine which monitors the insurance information in real time. So that's all from my side. Next, Joshua will talk about the components. Thank you.
So we have the components which we'll be using in this project. Of course, we have for the backend development, we have PHP and we have HTML, CSS for the front-end development. And Java Python will be based on our deployment on AWS, which is the language for that. And we'll use MySQL query language for the database. Moving on to the component section. In the first, we have user interface in which the farmer will directly interact with the end system and also submit the applications of their insurance via the web interface. And this, our priority would be to make the system accessible and also user-friendly. Secondly, we have the database, which will definitely store the records of the farmers, insurance plans, the poultry, the crops. And in this, our priority would be to keep the data secure. We also have the insurance calculation engine, which is a feature used to determine the insurance cost depending on the plan and the data provided by the farmer. And we also have the payment processing section, in which the admin, on approval of the farmer's claim, will notify the farmer about how he or she can retrieve the money. And in the claim processing section, as the name suggests, that the claims of the farmers will be processed. And moving on to the milestones for our project, by the end of the first milestone, we'll have been developed a system or an interface where the farmer can directly interact with and submit the insurance applications. And by the end of the second milestone, we've made a system where the database and the records of the farmer have been securely kept and private to themselves. And by the end of the third milestone, we've created a feature which will determine the cost or the insurance coverage of the farmer. And by the end of the fourth milestone, we have the claims processing, which will make sure that the claim processed or made up by the farmer is verified by the admin's end, and therefore notified to the farmer or the user. And moving on to the workload, depending on our team members' knowledge, we have definitely distributed those accordingly, and we made sure that they are good and well known in those areas and are definitive with their underlying knowledge. Thank you, Professor, for your time.